Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one of betrayal, heartbreak, and a powerful fight for what really makes a family. Imagine being publicly humiliated by the people who are supposed to have your back, right in front of your own kids. What happens when the truth you've kept inside for years finally comes crashing down? This is a story about love that goes beyond blood, about standing up when it feels like the whole world is against you. So, grab a seat, make sure you're subscribed, and let's dive into what happened at a family gathering that changed everything. At a family gathering, my wife's sister slapped me in front of my kids and called me not their real father. What happened next changed everything. Chapter 1. The gathering that shattered the illusion. It was supposed to be just another ordinary Sunday, but nothing about that day would ever feel normal again. My wife, Rachel, had insisted we attend her family's annual garden party, an event where her parents, siblings, and their families came together, showing off their success, whispering behind polite smiles, and pretending everything was perfect. I agreed to go for the sake of our kids, Maya and Noah. I say our because, although I wasn't their biological father, I had legally adopted them the day I married Rachel 5 years ago. Their biological father had vanished without a trace before they were even toddlers. Since then, I had been the one waking up in the middle of the night to soothe nightmares, coaching soccer practice, sitting through parent-teacher conferences, and loving them fiercely every single day. But to some people in Rachel's family, none of that mattered. To them, I was just the stand-in. That afternoon, I carried a gift for Rachel's father, a vintage pocket watch I had hunted down for months. I was about to hand it over when her sister, Sabrina, stormed toward me across the manicured lawn, her heels clicking sharply. "You think you belong here?" Sabrina snarled, her voice cutting through the murmurs and laughter like a knife. She jabbed a perfectly manicured finger at my chest. "You're always beneath us. A leech." The crowd froze. Rachel's eyes widened in shock, but she said nothing. Kept my voice calm, steady. "Sabrina, maybe this isn't the time or place." Before I could finish, she stepped forward and slapped me hard across the cheek. The sound echoed over the patio like a gunshot. Maya gasped, and Noah immediately grabbed her hand, wide-eyed and scared. Then Sabrina screamed words that felt like ice water poured down my spine. "You're not even their real father. You just adopted them. You're nothing." Silence fell, thick and heavy. Maya was trembling. Rachel's mouth hung open, speechless. Her parents didn't move. Nobody said a word. I slowly touched my burning cheek and looked Sabrina in the eyes. Then I smiled. "Since you brought it up," I said quietly, "maybe it's time everyone knew the truth." I scanned the crowd. I had hoped to keep this buried forever, but if we were going to talk about real parents, then let's talk. Sabrina took a step back. Rachel turned pale. Her father dropped his wine glass onto the stone floor, shattering it. And in that instant, I began to unravel everything. Chapter 2. The envelope I had never opened until today. Everyone stood frozen, as if time itself had paused. Sabrina smirked, drunk on the shock she'd caused. Maya's eyes welled with tears. Noah hid behind me, confused and frightened. Rachel finally stepped forward, voice trembling. "Sabrina, that was uncalled for." I raised my hand to stop her. "No, Rachel. Today no one gets to hide behind silence. It's time to tell the truth." From my inside jacket pocket, I pulled out a worn manila envelope, its edges frayed. It had sat unopened for years, since the day I legally adopted Maya and Noah. Holding it up for everyone to see, I said, "This envelope contains the final report from the private investigator I hired, the one Rachel begged me not to open." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Rachel's face went ghostly white. My fingers trembled slightly as I peeled open the seal for the first time. Inside were documents, photos, and a notarized letter from the investigator. I looked at Rachel, then at her parents, then back at Sabrina. "You said I'm not their real father," I said. "Then explain this." I turned the first page so they could see it, a DNA report. Neither Maya nor Noah's biological father was Rachel's ex-husband. In fact, Maya and Noah shared no biological father between them. A hush fell over the gathering. Rachel collapsed into a chair, pale and trembling. I continued coldly. Mrs. and Mr. Bennet, your daughter had at least 3 affairs during her marriage. She never knew who fathered the children. Sabrina's confident smirk faded. Rachel gasped in horror. Her mother covered her mouth, stunned. But I stayed, I said firmly. I loved those kids as my own. I was there every day. I was the father who showed up, who cared, who fought to protect them. I looked directly at Rachel. You let your sister humiliate me, and you did nothing. You all sat there like I was an outsider. I reached into my other pocket and pulled out a crisp white envelope. Let's make it official, I said. Here are the divorce papers. File. Final. Rachel began to cry, stammering. Wait, you can't. I can, I said, calm but resolute. And I have. Then I knelt down in front of Maya and Noah. You're my children, I said softly. Always will be. No one can change that. They clung to me tightly. Turning to Rachel's father, I added, as for your company, expect the board to remove you within 30 days. I sold my shares to your biggest competitor, the one you've mocked for years. The man sank back into his chair, stunned. I tossed the vintage watch onto the table. Fake, just like your loyalty. Then I looked back at Sabrina. You should have kept your hands to yourself. Chapter 3. The video my kids secretly filmed and how it broke the internet. As I packed my things to leave, Maya tugged on my sleeve. Dad, she whispered, eyes red from crying. Can I show you something? I knelt beside her. From her backpack she pulled out a tablet, one I'd given her last Christmas. With shaky fingers, she opened a video file titled Thanksgiving Dinner Record and Before. I started recording that day when Aunt Sabrina said mean things again, Maya said softly. I wanted proof, just in case no one believed me. Press play. What followed wasn't just proof, it was explosive. On the screen, Sabrina and Rachel were in the kitchen, unaware Maya was filming from the pantry. He's such a loser, Sabrina sneered. Can you believe he still thinks those kids are his? Pathetic. Rachel laughed softly. Technically, he's not wrong. He adopted them, but we all know what really happened. Let him keep playing house. Sabrina snapped back. You should have taken child support and dumped him. Rachel rolled her eyes. Instead, I married him and got stuck with his boring morality. Ugh. Then Sabrina said the line that sent my blood boiling. When Maya's old enough, she'll know the truth anyway. She's not his. None of them are. Pause the video. The room was silent. Maya looked up at me, scared. Was I wrong to record that? She asked quietly. I hugged her tightly. No, sweetheart, I said firmly. You were brave. So brave. Turning to the rest of the family, Rachel now breaking down, her parents speechless, Sabrina pale as a ghost, I said. Congratulations. You just gave the world a front row seat to your true selves. That night, I uploaded the video to a secure folder and sent it to my attorney with a note. Release this to the press if anyone challenges custody or sues me for defamation. Then I posted a private social media message, limited to family and close friends, titled, What Really Happened at That Family Gathering. Within hours, the fallout was seismic. Former friends of Sabrina and Rachel sent apologies. Business partners of Rachel's father began distancing themselves. Clients canceled deals. The perfect facade was crumbling. By morning, Sabrina's engagement was called off. Rachel's job offer at her father's company was rescinded. And her parents had received an official request for retirement from the board. All because a little girl wanted to protect her dad, and pressed record. Chapter 4. Walking away, winning custody and finding peace. In the weeks that followed, my once tense house became a sanctuary. I filed for full custody of Maya and Noah, expecting a battle. I braced for Rachel to fight, cry, smear my name. But she didn't show up. Not to mediation, hearings, or court-ordered evaluations. Her lawyer said she'd fled the city with some man she met on a retreat. Predictable. Sabrina vanished too. But I showed up. Every time. I brought photos of birthdays, school events, report cards. I even replayed Maya's video just in case. The judge listened quietly. Then, with a solemn look, he declared, "Full permanent custody granted to the petitioner. All parental rights of the mother are terminated until such time as the children choose to see her." The courtroom gasped and breathed out. Years of pain and humiliation vindicated in one moment. Then, as I was leaving, my attorney handed me a sealed envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "A little cherry on top," he smirked. "The DNA results. You told me not to open unless necessary." I hesitated. But we were past that. Opened it. 3 names. 3 results. Probability of paternity. 0%. I didn't falter. Because those kids didn't share my blood. But they shared my soul. They were mine. And now they were free. From shame, from lies, from a family that never deserved them. Epilogue. 1 year later, a toast heard around the world. It had been a year since the courtroom victory. A year since I stopped being the pushover husband. A year since I became exactly what those kids needed. A real dad. Maya thrived. Therapy helped her blossom. She joined the debate team. Noah found his passion for robotics, winning awards. And little Max, our newest addition, still held my hand each night whispering, "You're my real daddy." We'd built something real. Then came the invitation to a community banquet, hosted by the school board. Apparently, Maya had secretly nominated me for Parent of the Year. When my name was called, I walked to the stage, heart pounding. In the crowd, one face stood out, Rachel. Gone was the polished woman I'd married. Now her clothes were worn, makeup faded, eyes tired. She was there, not for the kids but to be seen. I accepted the award calmly. Cleared my throat. "This isn't about being perfect," I said. "It's about showing up every day. No matter DNA, blood, or who says you're not a real parent. Real fathers don't slap, abandon, or betray. They protect. They stay." Rachel slipped out quietly. A video of my speech went viral, shared millions of times. Support poured in. A non-profit asked me to be the face of a campaign for adoptive fathers. Their first billboard read, "DNA makes you a parent, but love makes you a dad." Sabrina tried reaching out once. I blocked every number, every email. My silence was louder than any slap. Today our home is filled with laughter. Fridge photos, handmade paintings, trophies, and an award plaque reading, "World's Greatest Dad," voted unanimously. Every Christmas, Maya saves the last gift for me. Small box. Inside a note. "Thanks for choosing us when others didn't." Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. If you believe this story was deserved, like and share it with someone who needs that energy. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories of betrayal and justice, because every lie has a reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.